is up? It's the old man, and I should say the tired old man. It's been a rough couple of weeks. So, as the video says, I am somewhat stuck here at the yard in Green Cove Marina. But I wanted to make a quick video to let everybody know what's going on and what I've been up to. It might be a little rough, but I'll try to put it together. Before I get to my stuff, I really want to say this marina is great. I can't say I'm having a great time with what I'm having to do, but there's so much here that helps keep you positive. The office people are really good. The facilities are fine. Now, I know in the past, Green Cove Springs Marina has not enjoyed the best reputation. Those are old reviews. This place is great. The community is just so positive, and I'll talk more about that later. Alright, so if you watched my last video, you know that I had a list of only about 6 things I really wanted to do. I got those done within about the first 3 days. Those just really clicked along nicely. Here's some pictures of them while I describe them to you again. We'll go from bow to stern. First was the through hole for the speedometer. That worked out great. Had no problems with that. Next was modifying the sink drain in the head to be able to feed my water maker. That also went really well. Moving from there, we come back to the sink drain for the galley, and I had to replace that valve. No problems with that. All of these things just went really good. And then all the way aft, we had to do the cutlass bearing, and I wanted to rework the stern tube and the stuffing box. Again, it was a lot of work getting the prop off. And I did learn that not only do you need the right tool, but you need the right quality tool. They have a mechanic here at this yard. His name is Rick. After struggling with trying to get the prop off for about 3 hours, I went ahead and got a hold of him. For $60, he came over with his skill and his tools, which included a much better prop puller than I had, and also included an oxyacetylene torch to heat up the prop. And between the two of those, we had it off in 10 minutes. So again, just another plus for this yard. I borrowed a tool from him to get the coupler off the front, got the shaft out, got the cutlass bearing out, replaced it. All of that went very smoothly, getting it all back together. And just all my projects went really, really well. So the problem was the bottom, okay? If you go back a year and a half and look at my last haul out, you know that there were some blisters I had to deal with. Thought we had done it. Really thought that we had taken care of it. But what I found when I hauled out was it really looked like a bad case of acne. Like just pimples. Pimples, pimples. Hundreds of blisters. Hundreds of blisters. I don't know. Could have been thousands of blisters for all I know. And they had actually compromised not just the paint but the barrier coat. It wasn't working because there was so much moisture in the gel coat. And fortunately, it really was all in the gel coat. We got the bottom paint off and started looking at the gel coat, and you could see it then as you went through the bottom paint into the barrier coat and started working your way through some of those little blisters. You basically got deeper and deeper into the gel coat, and you kept coming across multiple little pockets everywhere. Little pockets of moisture. As you're grinding away, you could just see the moisture getting wiped off. So the solution, the only real solution, was to go and grind it down all the way to the fiberglass, which is what I did. And I was only able to do it with the help of this guy, Mr. Curtis Poor. The guy is a machine. That's all I can say about him. So much help. He probably did 80% of it to my 20%. And he was not free, but he was very reasonable. It cost me about, he was 40 bucks an hour. I probably put in about 30 hours. He put in 14. So it ran me about 500 bucks. And I will say, the whole thing is just killing my budget. It really is. My sailing on a budget is shot. Sucking out all my yard reserve. Diving into a little bit of my Bahamas budget. And if it weren't for the few people that have bought me beer so far, it would be really bad. If you want to buy me a beer, I will not object at all. There's a link down in the description, and I really thank you so much for the people that have. It is just really, it's very encouraging to get that kind of support. It really is. And I want to talk more about that kind of support, because this yard has been awesome for the atmosphere of the other cruisers here. And most notably, I got to give a shout out to Corey of Wildly Intrepid. If you don't watch his channel, it's a really good channel. I've watched it for a long time, and I've been in contact with him. I knew he was here. What I was not prepared for was the amount of help he has given me, just in the way of instruction, because he's been through all this stuff. Just, instruction, guidance, actual physical help, material help, tool help. The guy is just, if it weren't for people like him and a few others here, like Terry, a couple boats over, guy from the Isle of Man, who has also been through a lot of this stuff, and the encouragement that you get from this community, I would not be near as far along as I am. It's just been awesome, because this is this is hard work, y'all. I'm telling you, this is some hard work. The weather's not helping either, but I am able to stay positive mostly because of the people, and it's so important. It's just been great. I really just want to say it's been great. If you want to do this kind of stuff, if you need to do this kind of stuff, this is the place to do it. I am coming back here. This is the only place I'll ever go as far as I'm concerned. Green Cove Springs Marina, people. Check it out. Okay, so where I'm at now is I am done with all the filling and fairing that I'm going to do. I've basically got it to a point where I'm as happy as I'm going to get. I'm not looking for perfection. Most of you know that. This is more of my workboat battleship, as I've called it in the past. So I don't go for the Hinkley finish. I go for the workboat finish. So I am at a good point now. A little bit more sanding to do with a few last spots that I did using totalboat fairing epoxy. Corey had given me a little bit. I wanted to try it. I really like it. I wish I'd had some of that from the beginning. But in any case, I am just about ready to start coating the boat. And what I'm going to use is Totalboat's 5-to-1 traditional epoxy for the first 2 coats. Multiple people here who again have been through this since I took it all the way to the glass, have recommended going with straight epoxy first. Okay, so I'm going to do 2 coats of that straight epoxy, and then I'm going to do 2 coats of Totalboat barrier coat, and then I'm going to do 2 more coats of the same ablative bottom paint, because that bottom paint, which is Pettit's Triton Odyssey, worked really well. The bottom was clean, very few barnacles, really literally no barnacles. The bottom was clean, it just had failed because of the moisture underneath that barrier coat. That was the problem. That moisture is gone, baby. There is no moisture now. I got a good dry hull, but I've got a stretch of good weather coming up, and I'm just about to start that process. I've been here just over 2 weeks, and I probably have another 2 weeks to go to finish this up. The boat is still packed with food. I have been eating a little bit of it. I'm not actually staying on the boat. I'm close enough that I'm just making the commute back and forth to home, which is really nice after all the grinding, especially because that's some nasty, dirty stuff. You know, you're grinding gel coat and fiberglass, so it was really nice to be able to go home, get good hot showers, get cleaned up, keep my clothes washed. But as soon as the bottom paint goes on, I'll get lifted. I'll finish up those last 2 spots, and we'll be back in the water and ready to go. And again, I just want to say it's been a lot of hard work. It's been a little depressing at times, but I am able to stay positive because of this community here. It's just so great. It's just so great. So, throwing out this video so you know what's going on. Next time you see me, I really hope to be headed south. Old man, over and out. All right, let me come up here away from the engine noise a little bit, but whew, it's happening. We are headed to Green Cove Springs for our haul out, and I'm pumped, man. I'm just pumped. I really am. This is like the beginning of the end of the beginning. I don't know how to say it, but yeah. Dun, 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 dun. But I am pretty pumped up about it. And somebody had asked for a shot of the foredeck area after I had the dinghy on board, and that's what it looks like. Like I said, I can maneuver around everything just fine. Not as easily as with the other 2. The Walker Bay was the best. The inflatable second best. This one, you know, definitely takes up a little more room, but it's fine. I can fall overboard if I'm not careful, but it's fine. I can do everything I need to do up here. Man, we are cutting the rug, folks. I got just a tad bit of wind that's helping me, but I'm averaging 6 knots going up the river here. But yep, it's happening. Should be there in another hour or so. And they told me to just go ahead and tie up in front of the lift if it's open, but along the dock wall there in front of the little dinghy dock. So that's where we'll be. Do some more filming hopefully when the time comes.